As Donald Trump prepares for another run at the presidency, it's critical to examine the legacy he left behind. His time in office was defined by divisive rhetoric, erratic leadership, and constant claims of victimhood. But behind the complaints and finger-pointing, Trump's record on key issues like racial inequality tells a different story. In 2017, Trump's response to the Charlottesville white supremacist rally shocked the nation. Instead of condemning the violence, Trump famously said there were very fine people on both sides. This statement sent a message of tolerance toward hate groups, fueling racial tensions across the country. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, has consistently stood up for racial justice. She co-sponsored the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, pushing for police reform and accountability. While Trump emboldened white supremacists, Harris has been a voice for marginalized communities, fighting for real change. Trump has spent much of his post-presidency complaining and claiming that he is the victim of political persecution. Despite facing 34 felony counts, over $500 million in defamation fines, and his businesses being found guilty of fraud in New York, Trump continues to paint himself as the good guy, someone unfairly targeted by the system. Kamala Harris has fought to close the racial wealth gap, supporting policies that help low-income families and small businesses. She's working to lift people up, not tear them down. From supporting healthcare access to promoting racial equity in the economy, Harris's vision for America is one where everyone gets a fair shot. During the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020, Trump once again turned to division. He labeled peaceful protesters thugs and sent federal forces to suppress demonstrations. His obsession with maintaining law and order was a thinly veiled attempt to stoke fear and avoid addressing the real issues: racial inequality and police violence. Harris has been on the front lines of the fight for justice. As a former prosecutor, she understands the complexities of law enforcement, but also recognizes the urgent need for reform. Her leadership on police accountability stands in stark contrast to Trump's refusal to address systemic issues. The upcoming election is a choice between complaints and progress, between division and unity. Donald Trump's record is clear. He thrives on chaos and controversy. But Kamala Harris stands for an America that is inclusive, compassionate, and fair. This election, vote for justice, vote for equality, and vote for a brighter future. Vote for Kamala Harris.